All right, I'm back. So let's see how much we can able to cover in the next 30 minutes. I'm sorry, 45 minutes. Then we can open up for questions. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So what I'm going to do is, let's try this first. Okay. Yeah. I want to click on this edge communications and then I should be, redirected to to that account, right? So how does this happen? If you go back to the code, okay. So we have this HTML and then yes, this title. This is the place, right? So here it says there's a if you give an URL, right, or a path, okay, automatically this link, okay, will redirect the user, correct? So for example, to make it um, for example, let's say I hard code some value, okay. Let's say I'm going to hard code. Let's try this Fred LLC, right? Let me copy this ID. So somehow I managed to uh, get this value, the account ID dynamically substituted because I'm hard coding this, but somehow I dynamically, substitute the actual account ID here. Okay, something like this, right? Rec contract dot ID. Yeah, then I should be able to, certainly get link working. Let's cross check first whether this works or not. Then we'll talk about. Okay, so there is no error. Okay, so let's go back to the page. Let's refresh this page. Okay, I'll click on this Dickinson. So it is now taking me to the hard coded account, correct? Yeah, and this is not just for the first record. If we go back to the page, so sand clothing, I'll click. It will also take me to Fred LLC, correct? Because I hard coded the ID, that's the reason for every record it is taking me. But ideally speaking, what I would really love to do this, right? I wanted to, the ID of Dickinson PLC, to substitute, ID of San Cochen to get substituted, right? Fine. Can we do that? Yes, certainly we can do that. So what we can do is we can just simply, knock this off, okay, and then have the value substituted. So just like how we are showing the uh, account name, I can just say account dot id. It won't work. It won't work because it is not, it is just an id, right? But what I really want is I want something slash and then the id, but here there is no slash, isn't it? Yeah, that's the reason it won't work. Okay, so if that is the case, what is that I can do? Yeah, so I need to change the base data that is coming from the database. If you could recollect, the data that is coming from the database, let's cross check. Okay, so I'll go to console. This is the data that is coming. I'll copy this. Okay, I'll go to this JSON lint just to, just to expand that data so that we can see this. Did I copy the entire data? I don't think so, isn't it? So let's copy this. Oh, yeah. So we this name, etc. Right. So what I would like to do is I would like to change the base data, whatever is coming from the database. I want to introduce a new new key. Okay, something like ACC, account H. Okay, any name. Okay, any name I wanted to create. And inside this, what I would like to do is I just wanted to have a value called slash followed by the ID. Okay, this is what I would like to achieve. So I'll copy the command, copy this. Okay, so right here, if I change the data that is coming from the database to this form, right? Introducing my own key, my own value, correct, with a slash in it. Then what I could potentially do is I can use this back in my code, right? I can do that. So when you do that, certainly, right? When the component is rendering on the screen, I'll get a slash followed by the ID. So that makes that link clickable. Correct. This is what I would like to achieve. But how do I change this value? That's the next thing, right? How do I change this value? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to a JavaScript code. Okay. JavaScript code. And right now, this is where all the contracts, right, that is coming from the abyss is preserved. Correct. I'm going to introduce one additional property. Okay. And just to make it a little more convenient for you to understand, I'll just say list expiring contracts with redirect with the redirect. Okay, yeah, I know it's too big, but but it serves its purpose. So this is a new property that I'm just introducing. Okay, yeah, or I'll just say with redirection. Okay, yeah. So I'll copy this, come back here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to simple JS logic. Okay, to loop through the contract records. Okay, then contract, then add a new key value pair. Okay, with ACC href as key and value as slash ID of the account. This is we're gonna do it. Okay, so it might you might think, okay, I should be adding a for loop, all such things. No, in JavaScript, things are made really, really easy. So what I would like to really do is, I'll say this dot LSC expiring contracts. This is the one, right? Yeah. So this contains the actual data coming from the database, isn't it? So dot map. Okay. So all of a sudden I'm using something called map, right? Don't worry, this is a JavaScript code. Okay. In JavaScript, when you read more about arrays, read more about objects, there are a lot of inbuilt functions that JavaScript has. Okay, that helps you to to work with the data, right, in a much efficient way. Okay, you can just see this tip on the right, correct? Let map array equal to array dot map of item arrow function, the one that we right, yeah. So that's the same thing I'm going to do it. Okay, it's not something new. With a single with a one line of code, we can able to achieve this. Okay, so that is what I would like to do that. Okay, so um, okay, so basically this is the arrow function. Okay, that I'm going to use it. Okay, so it might sound uh, some stuff, right? That is this correct. So this is also part of our JavaScript fundamentals. Okay, in JavaScript there is something called spread operator. There is something called spread operator. Okay, so this three are nothing but spread operator. Okay, so basically what it will do is, so this one line of code will do two things. One, it will loop through each and every record, number one. Number two, this triple dot will copy a record, will take a copy of the record, and then in the new copy of the record, it will add this new key value. But because our intention is, we wanted to loop through this. As you loop through the first record, take a copy, okay, take a copy, and then add this particular new key value. Then when the second record is looped, right, we want to take a copy and then add this particular particular key value pair, and this everything is taken care in this one single line of code. Okay, so to understand this, what you need is fundamentals. Okay, so know or read more about, read more about JavaScript spread operator. The triple dot, it's a very special one. Okay, a lot of places it will use, it will help you. And string interpolation. Okay, yeah. So this backtick is called string interpolation. Okay, so this is what we are using right here. I wish we could have more time to discuss in detail about this, but in the interest of time, okay, I leave it to you to read through this. Okay, so that in this one line of code you can able to achieve this. So now this is going to carry the latest or modified output, something like this output. So what I'll do is I will save that, I'll store that, this dot lst contracts with direction equal to this. Okay, that's it. Okay, so now this will have the new data, correct? Yeah, the existing data plus the new key value. But now I'll copy this, I'll go back to the html. Okay, and I replace that old one with this new one. Okay, so say this. Okay, I think we are good with that. Have you already changed this, right? Yeah, so this is the value that we are using, acc href. Perfect. Okay, so it will be directly available. So we will just do a console.log and then see. Okay, so just to cross check how the data has changed. Okay, so data received from apex and added new key value pair. Okay, so I'll say that, and then we can just simply print this. Okay, yeah, and then see the output. Okay, that's it. One single line of code is what we have done. So I'll right click and then deploy this. Okay, done. Okay, let's go back to the page. First, let's see the output. Then we can further dissect this. This is cool. And let's right click and then inspect. Go to console. Okay, I don't think it just picked my latest code. I will right click and then empty cache and hard reload. Super. Let's right click. Let's do an inspect. Console. Yes, we have now two data points, right? So this is the one that is coming, directly from the database, and this is the one that we modified. And you can just see this, right? There is this ACC href added with this one, and there is a difference in the account ID, correct? You can just see this. So this is pretty much what we would like to, see. I'll copy this just to show one more time. I'll copy this. We'll use JSON lint to check this in the right format. Yeah, you can just see this one added, correct? Perfect. Correct. That's it. So this is how you can able to modify the data, because everything is JavaScript object, correct? Yeah. You can able to play around with the data, and now with this one I click on sand clothing. It should take me to the sand clothing account, isn't it? Yes, it did. Correct. So let's go back to home and I click on Dickinson PLC. Yes, it took me to Dickinson PLC. Okay. It is the same concept that you can also use to make this contact ID, right? It's the same concept. Okay, make ID this, clickable. Okay, that's what we had implemented. Okay, anyways, we will share you the code after this training. Okay, you can also cross check how to do that. Yeah. So we did
Hi
talk
Rajesh.
about. Oh, go on. Yes.
Yeah, so can you go back to the code where
Hmm.
we are iterating over that map using dot map method?
This is the one.
Yes. So you were saying that we are adding this ACC hyper reference property to that that entire data.
Mhm,
So after adding that link, we
mhm.
are returning a copy, right?
Yeah, this will return the copy, correct? Yeah.
So
So
what
this
is
will
the
copy
type of
this.
that copy? Is it an array or something else?
Same thing, same there. That's the reason you are getting the same output, right? Yeah, it's the same output, isn't it? Array of objects. Only thing is you just added one new key value pair into that data. The return type will just be the same, and that is
Okay.
the reason we are adding this back to another variable. That's it. Okay, I'm using another variable. I just wanted to confuse more. Okay, yeah, because uh, you need to have a good a hold on the spread operator and this map method. Okay, so that's the reason I just wanted to break this into two steps. Okay, one, do the map and then assign it to a new variable. Otherwise I could have done this in one single line itself. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I
Hmm.
asked this question. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we could do this in one single step, but to give more clarity I just added another one. That's it. Yeah. All right, super. Okay, so you guys have to follow the same uh, approach, okay, to introduce contact href as a contract href as well, so that when somebody clicks on this contract link, this id, right, we can take the user to that contract id. Remember that this is what we built. So when you click on this contract id, the user is taken to the contract id. Okay, you can also do the same. Yeah.
So
Okay, I'll leave that
Rajesh,
to you. Go on. Yeah.
is this is this the best practice that we use for href, or is there any alternate way where we can use navigations also?
We have something called navigation mixin, but since we are using this because we are using this lightning tile, correct? Yeah, the
Yeah.
lightning tile already has a property called href that is meant for radiation. Okay, that's the reason we are using this. Otherwise, we can have something called navigation mixin. That is a class in that is just like this lightning element, etc. Salesforce LWC framework has something called navigation mixin, using which we can able to redirect the user. For example, right? Let's say you are showing list of contacts. Okay, contacts under social accounts, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. When I click on that particular button or icon, right, I want to be taken to the LinkedIn page or Twitter page, completely outside of Salesforce. We can do that as well. So that time, we will use navigation mixin as a class. Okay.
Okay.
So there is a code that we will write. Again, not much of code. Okay, just simply that on click, hey, this is the link to which you want to redirect to. So we can do that as well. Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
more than one ways to accomplish the same thing. And why we used href this time is because the
you have
lightning
an
tile, has a
mm,
property. It says that don't give me entire URL, just tell me the ID of the record. I will navigate you to that place. That's what lightning tile says. So we just gave only the ID.
got it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how that's the reason.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Super. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll give the code that we built. That will give you output something like this, like with this proper link, everything, and then if something is there not there, it will just show you a yeah, show you show you this no expiring contracts, right? You can just take a look as well. Okay. Yeah. So let's try another use case now. This opportunity counter, right? Let's try that. Okay, and learn few additional concepts before we wrap up our training today. Okay, so so far, um, yeah, I'll do this as well. Okay, so things that you should learn is JavaScript promise, certainly. Okay, JavaScript promise. Okay, then we did talk about ways to uh, JS concepts. Okay, one is JS promise, JS promise, and then we can also we did discuss about this functions, right? Especially the three ways to write a function, correct? So legacy, nameless, correct? And then we also talked about arrow functions. And trust me, arrow functions is what you will just see in most of the places. Okay, most of the places. Spend some time. in understanding this arrow and writing arrow functions. Okay, yeah, I'll give you few links towards the end where you find nicely explained these concepts with some examples. Okay, and the third thing is yeah. So the third thing is about the spread operator. Okay, the triple dot, right? Yeah. So this is also a concept in JavaScript. Okay, just read through this triple dot as well. Okay, then your array methods. Okay, JavaScript array methods like map, substring. Okay, substring. Then we have this something called contains. All these are good number of methods. Okay, in JavaScript which you can also read through, because when you write your LWC code, correct, for any data manipulation, that's what we just did, correct. So we did receive a data from the database, correct, and then on top of which we wanted to make some changes. How did you do that? You have to write JavaScript code, correct. So learning these concepts, right, in JavaScript will certainly help you, okay, to write more and more JavaScript array and object methods, I'll just simply say. Okay, yeah, will help you to write better code. Okay, map, contains, etc. Okay, hope this is helpful. So yeah, 12:07, we have 20 minutes. Okay, so what I'll do is, okay, the concept that we are going to learn now, I'll close everything. Okay, the concept that we are going to learn is do I have this already? Yeah, Labster. Okay, anyways, so we wanted to have timer creator. Okay, yeah. So the concepts that we will learn by implementing this use cases, um, components communication. Okay, components communication. So you have a component. How does a component read data from a page? How does a component make a call to the database and then read data? Okay, so you might say that, Rajesh, we just did that. We had created a component which is making a call to the database, correct? Yeah, which made a call to an Apex. Through Apex we made a call to the database, correct? But without making a call to a data, without writing my own Apex code, how can I still access data from Salesforce? Okay, that's what we're gonna learn now. Okay, so if you recall, right, when we put together the nodes for working with Salesforce data, for multiple records, the best way is to go with Apex, isn't it? Which is using wire method or calling Apex imperatively, correct? And also we did talk about this LDS or UA record API. So we are going to use this UA record API, okay, to you know to get the data read from the database without writing a single line of Apex code. Okay, so we will do everything inside LWC. Yeah, so that is what we are going to do it now. Okay, all right. So let me first go to that org. Let's close everything. I think we did create an opportunity close counter. Close everything. Opportunity close counter. Yes, closed it. Correct. Here it is. We'll bring Java. We'll bring HTML. Everything. Yeah. All right. Let's bring it side by side. Are we good? All right. Good. So in the JavaScript, the very first thing, I'll keep all these things as is. Okay. So the very first thing is, right, we have something called UA record API. Okay. So the through UI record API. Okay. LWC can read or write data. Okay, we read from or write data into Salesforce objects. object, not objects, object. Okay, because UA record API can only deal with in a single record. Okay, so helps when there is a need to deal with one record. Okay, one record. Super. Okay, so now just keep this in mind for now. Okay, at a time. Yeah. So before we make an attempt, okay, I want to first edit this page. This is an opportunity close date counter, right? Okay, I'll see whether that is available for us to drag and then drop or not. Mm-mm. This is the one, right? Okay, so I'll remove this. I'll bring this one, the one that we are bring. Okay, yeah, I'll save this. I'll go back. Oh no, no, please save this. Save. Did I save? Changes save. Now let's go back. Okay, super. I don't want this. So let's add um, typical changes that we do, right? Yeah. So let's remove everything for now. Okay, let's add this lightning card. Okay. So we can have that look and feel, same as the other. Title equal to opportunity, close date counter. Okay. Yeah. So inside which we are going to write the code, isn't it? Yeah. Basically the timer is what we wanted to do that. Yeah. So let me right click, let me deploy and refresh. No, what? That's not picking my new code. Let's remove the cache. Reload. Okay, so at least now this is aligned with my other components. Super. Now, first things first. So actually need this component actually needs the close date of the opportunity, that this opportunity, correct? Yeah, opportunity, so that accordingly the counter will start, isn't it? So how do I retrieve the close date of the opportunity? Yeah. So before I think about retrieving and close date of an opportunity, I need to know the opportunity ID, isn't it? This is the very first thing that you need. Yeah. So the very first thing that you need is you know, you need hmm, so you need a way to, you know, so this component for this component to work, what do we need? We need opportunity ID. Correct? Yeah, opportunity ID. Opportunity from lightning page, isn't it? From lightning record page. Yeah. So this is where we will use the concept of components communication. Okay, so what is this component communication? Let's learn it very quickly. Okay, very quickly. I'm going to create two components now. I'll just say parent component. Okay, yeah, parent component, and I'm going to create a child component as well. Child component, child one component. Okay, okay. So now what I'm going to do is the child one component. Okay, child one component. I wanted to know a h1 show data received from parent component. Okay, yeah. So back in this child JavaScript, okay, I need to ensure that this child component is ready to receive data from outsider. Okay, from outsider. Okay, so this is done. Okay, using something called public properties in LWC. Okay, public properties in LWC. So when your component needs to read data, or when your components needs to receive data from outside, you will use public properties. So typically, how do we create a property? Let's say we create a property. Let's say we will have a um, today's okay, topic name. Okay, this is a simple property, correct? Yeah, simple property. And how do you do it? We just refer that property here as topic name. Correct? Yeah, this is what we typically do. Correct? So now this topic name is going to come, it's going to receive data from the outsider with the parent component. Okay, so what we will do is we'll use a public property for which we will use @API or API decorator. Okay, so we used wire, right? Just like that, there is something called API. It's also a decorator concept, API. So all you have to do is you just have to annotate your not annotate, you just have to prefix @API. That's it. So this makes this property, right, exposed publicly. Okay, so whoever is anybody can, whoever is using this component can able to send data to this property. That's it. Okay, so how does the parent component access this one? So let's bring the parent component. Okay, so okay, where is the parent component? Here it is, right? Okay, parent component, drag and then drop. Parent comp child comp. Okay, parent component JavaScript. I'll bring it right here. Okay, so let's see. So this is my parent component, correct? And this is my I don't even need JavaScript. This is my parent component HTML, right? This is my child component HTML, isn't it? Yeah. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna access child component inside component. Okay, how do I do it? Okay, so we will use something called kebab case. Kebab case. So what is this kebab? Very simple. Very simple. Okay, we will just represent a text. Okay, um, in a kebab case where each word it's it's uh, it's delimited with hyphen. Okay, for example, I have, let's say, hello world. Okay, hello world. There are two words in it. Yeah, hello is for word number one, world is word number two. So to represent this in kebab case, right? Okay, so we use this tag. Yeah, so we'll just say hello hyphen world. Okay, that's it. Yeah, so whatever component that we create, this opportunity counter or this expiring contracts, everything is going to get, at the end it's going to get converted as an element, isn't it? As a tag. For example, I'll show you this. Um, we we did create this component, correct? Expiring contracts. And if you go to the page source, okay, and then see how this component is perceived by the HTML browser. Okay, so if I just take your cursor to this one, you can just see this one, right? This line number, C hyphen expiring hyphen contracts. Expiring contracts is the name of the component. Yeah, where C was caps. Yeah, so now expiring is word one and contract is word two, and these two words are separated with this hyphen. So basically the component that we create, yeah, it's all at the end of the day rendered as a custom HTML tag. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay, so that is what I'm also trying to do. So I've created a child component. I want to use a child component inside another component. Yeah, so what we will do is, in this case, the child component is child one component, right? Yeah, so what we will do is we will simply use a tag, okay, HTML tag, inside which I'll just say child one component. So all in lowercase. It's a rule in HTML. Okay, all in lowercase. Number two, how many words are there? Let's find out. Three words. Why do I say three words? Because the second word, one, starts with an uppercase. The third word starts with an uppercase C. Correct. So I'll just ensure that hyphen is used to as a delimiter. Okay, then in Lightning Web Component, in Lightning Web Component framework, all the components will start with this C. C starts C as a C refers to custom. So we just built a custom web component, right? That's why C basically it's a namespace. If your org has a namespace, then you have to mention the namespace. If you do not have a namespace, then just mention the default namespace, which is C, which is custom. Okay, custom web component. That's it. We are done. Okay, that's all it is. So you will use a web component inside another web component in the form of tags, and you will follow kebab casing. That's all it is. Okay, that's all it is. So if I go to the notes, okay, yeah. So under components communication, yeah. So for parent to child communication, what do? You use expose public properties in child component. Okay, public property child component, right? So to use a component inside another component, components HTML. Okay, what do we do? What do we do? We follow kebab case convention to use web component as web component as HTML tag. Correct? That's what we just did. We followed kebab casing convention, and then we used this component, right, in the form of HTML tag. That's all it is. Okay. So now, how do I send the data? That's the next thing, right? Yeah. So, like, uh, child is receiving data from parent. Okay. Now I'll move this one. Okay, into this. Okay. Anyways. So now, whichever the property that you have exposed, right, in the child component, whichever property that you have exposed as a property, right, just copy that property name, put it right here as an attribute, then send any name. So you can just say components communication is the topic name. Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, that's how you can able to send data from parent to a child. That's all it is. Yeah, let's save this, and then let us deploy both. Okay, before I do that, I have to ensure that the parent component is exposed. Okay, I'll keep all this once. Okay, let's select parent component. Let's first select the child component, deploy. While it is happening, we can also right click and then deploy the parent component. Okay, okay, something is wrong. What has gone wrong? No module child component found. Why are you saying that? I just deployed. Try again. Mm-mm. Did I mess up something with the child one? Oh, I think spelled wrong. COMPOMENT. I'm so sorry. That's my mistake. So I have to follow COMPOMENT. Okay. That's the reason it was not able to pick up that one. Okay, perfect. Now I'll right click and then deploy. Perfect, right? Super. So I'll close this. Okay, so now we have seen a very simple example how a parent can send a data to the child component. Let's try and then test this. Okay, we'll go back to the org. Okay, we'll go back to, let's go to our playground. Okay, and let's go and then edit the page. Bring that component, parent component. Okay, drag and then drop it here. Super. Let's click on save. Let us go back. Okay, this is fine. Child is receiving data from and show data received from parent component. Why it is not showing the data? Where is the parent component? Okay, let's go to the parent component. Um, Something is okay. Topic name. Let's go and then check the child component once. Yeah, at the rate API topic name is fine. HTML, simply using the topic name, that is also fine. Chum 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 chum. Everything looks clean. Okay, let's try to redeploy again. Okay, sometimes I'll choose child component, I'll choose parent component together. Right click, redeploy. Okay, let us see what is happening. Right click, inspect. Okay, let's close this. Huh, interesting. Okay, I don't know. This is my parent component, isn't it? Yeah, in the parent component,
Is
I'm
there
using
something to do with the child components meta file? Not sure.
uh, child components meta file. It's actually not needed. I don't even have to expose the child component because parent is loading. When the parent loads, right, whatever the parent's configuration file, is defined in the configuration, the same is going to be inherited by the child. That is the reason, even if it is false, we are seeing this lightning card. We are seeing this. Now we are seeing this show data, right? This everything is working fine, correct? But this guy, see, case sensitive. The same problem, case sensitive. I was yesterday, right? We have to be very careful with this JavaScript. Yeah. So you can just see this. I'm using topic name with the n caps right here, but actual property name is n lowercase. That's the reason it was not working. So I'll put it back. I'll just change uppercase n to lowercase. Now I'll redeploy. See, it was not throwing an error, not even giving an output. Correct. Sometimes you really break your head because of this case sensitive principles in JavaScript. Anyways, so let's wait for this to complete. Yeah, now we can just see this, right? Components communication. It's showing up. Correct. Yeah. So at a high level, this is how easy it is for to enable communication between two components. Okay. Yeah. So that is a way you can able to make a child to communicate to parent, for which you need to learn about events. Okay. I don't know if we have time to discuss all such things, but the thing is, the key takeaway is it is possible for you to make components communicate each other. Okay. Now the question is, Rajesh, you used two lightning web components, LWC to LWC, correct? And then we used this other API and then made the to be exchanged, right? Not exchange, but sending from parent to child, correct? Yeah. But it is in this case, right? We are not actually using two lightning web components. There is one lightning web component which is looking for data from this opportunity, at least the opportunity ID, so that we can get hold of the opportunity closed yet. Correct. Yeah. Will it be different? Okay, if this is the case, will that approach will be different? No. Whatever we did, we will be following the same here as well. Okay, close this. We'll go back to the opportunity count. We'll follow the same concept or the principle. Okay, so in the opportunity close date counter, I'll go to the JavaScript. Okay, I'm going to introduce a property, okay, named record ID. Okay, yeah, so it's going to be a public property to receive opportunity ID. Okay, opportunity opportunity to hold opportunity ID. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just prefix it with @API, and I will also on the top will just say I'm using API decorator and just API record ID. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Pretty much, right? Yeah, cool. So what I'll do is we have all things, right? Okay, let's try this. Console.log opportunity ID is this dot record ID. So whatever that's going to come from, that's going to be uh, collected in record ID property. I'm going to just print this. Okay, yeah, I'm going to print this. Just see what happens. Okay, yeah, I'll right click and then deploy. Okay, so I'll go back to the page. Well, let's refresh this. Right click. We'll go to the inspect mode. Cross check the console. Okay. Uh, um, mm, mm, it's undefined. It is not coming. Uh, cha, 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 cha. Actually, there is a okay. I is caps. That is fine. Chum, chum, chum. Okay, let's right click. Let's dip. Oh, not in the connector. Sorry, the connector callback. Super. Let's right click. Let's cross check. Okay. So that is having this opportunity ID. Why are you not showing up? Opportunity center. That is fine. I'll move ahead. I'll move ahead. We should be seeing this one. Anyways, it is case sensitive. R is lowercase, I is uppercase. That is fine. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna okay. Let's assume that you have received a record ID. Okay. Yeah. Uh, now, what happens is this record ID is it's not a simple property. Okay. So when you create a Lightning Web Component, you wanted to use it in a record page, correct? And you want the Lightning Web Component to automatically get the ID of the record. Okay, automatically get the ID of the record. Then you have to certainly use public properties, no doubt about it. But the property name has to be record ID. You cannot change anything. It has to be record ID. Okay. When you do that, what happens is Salesforce knows that okay, somebody has created a Lightning Web Component, is looking for the record ID of the page. So it automatically assigns this ID to that record ID. Okay. So how do I say that it will work, right? Let's cross check. Okay, so I'll put everything to the below. Okay, and now I want to use the record ID, opportunity ID, to close it. Okay, so use record ID, which is the opportunity ID. Okay, op ID, to find close date. Okay, so again, this certainly requires an AP, a DB call, correct? To go to the database, get the close date, based on the opportunity. Instead, we can use this UA record API. Okay, because I'm gonna need just one. I'm dealing with only one record, right? So what Salesforce says that in that case, don't go with go with um, creating your own Apex. Instead, Salesforce has written a method called getRecord. Okay, all we have to do is use getRecord method. There are bunch of methods, bunch of methods they have created. So create record, update record, you have delete record. So whenever you deal with single record, okay, you can use this. Okay, you can use this first. So you can first import that reference. Then what is the field name that you wanted to data from? Okay, so properties again, we'll just say import. Okay, I'll give some reference name. Okay, um, reference name as in let's say close date. Okay, from. Okay, from. What we can do is there is a package called @schema. Okay, package called @schema. So just like @Salesforce slash Apex, we have @Salesforce slash schema, a package which will help you to access each and every field in our database. Okay, in this case, I'll be very specific. I'll just say I'm looking only for opportunity object. Inside the opportunity object, that is a field called close it. So this is what I'm interested in. Okay, to read data from. Okay, that's it. Two things done, isn't it? Next, let's go here. Okay, one. Okay, we will use our friend @wire because I want to bring that opportunity close date when this component is loaded on page load, correct? Yeah, so that I can start the timer immediately. There is no action. I don't want anybody to click a button and then start the timer. I don't want anybody to change something to start the timer. So automatically when it is loaded, I want the close date and then start that. The reason I'm using wire, okay, to make a call to this get record. Yeah, this one to get record. Number two, remember the second parameter in wire. I said we can use that to send parameters, right? That's precisely what I'm gonna do it. Okay, so come on, that's it. So in LWC, whenever you send parameters right to the methods, you always follow JavaScript object format. That is what I have done. The first one is record ID. I'm just passing whatever I have it right here, right? Just passing it here. Then fields. So this will tell Salesforce to go to the database, go to opportunity object, and find the data. Find this particular field, closed it. Okay, once this is done, it's just the same. I just wanted to read output. I can just have a. This is something that we have done earlier. Yeah, it's the same bunch of code. The same thing. I'll use this data comma error. It's just the same code if there is a data, proceed further, or else if there is an error. Okay, you can say console.log, say error. Okay, okay. So I'll right click first and then first format this. Okay, it says that wire is, I don't know what is this wire method because I have not imported the reference. I'll import that adapter reference. Now the error is gone. Perfect, right? So this wire, it's pretty much, the same one what we did earlier. If you just, cross check both, it is just the same. Only thing is, right in the earlier code, we made a call to an Apex method, correct? But right here, the method is not written by us. So we're just calling Salesforce's inbuilt get record, function and then passing the required inputs. So remember passing the required inputs, this one, we use this JavaScript object format. The same way we are just doing it. Okay. Yeah, that's all it is. So now I can able to write the counter code right here. Okay. First thing before I write the counter code, what I need to do is I need to first, read the value. Okay. From read the value of close date, for which what we do is use get field value. Okay. To read the value of close date. What is this? So far we just managed to import the functions. There is one more called get field value. There is a method, inbuilt method that Salesforce has. Okay, so all we have to do is we just have to um, let's have a property called close date. Okay, opportunity deadline, let's say deadline. Okay, So what I want to do is back here, once the data is read, okay, I wanted to assign the close date to this dot deadline equal to get field value. Okay, so I can just say the data that got fetched from the DB. Okay, help me to get the close date. Okay, this close date is refers, back to this reference. That's it. Okay, that's it. You will get the deadline. You will get the deadline. That's all it is. Okay, after which you have to, write pure JavaScript code. Write JS code to get timer. Okay, but this is until this, you are helping, you're taking help from the Lightning Web Component default methods and functionalities, right, to get this done. Okay, yeah. So let's summarize what we did. So we applied our public properties concept, correct, components communication form for components communication feature. Yeah. So number one, in this case, I'm going to use a component inside a record page. So I want the record page to automatically send me the record ID, current record. For that purpose, we imported API reference. We just added a property with the name record ID specifically, right? And then with this record ID, I want to go to the database and then fetch the data, isn't it? That's the thing that I need to do, correct? So we will use the wire because that is the one that's going to help you to make a call to a method, which in turn makes a call to a database, right? But in this case, I'm going to use the native LWC method, get record, correct? And then passing the inputs, right? Once the data is arrived, correct? All I'm going to do is I'm going to use again the LWC, method, like get field value, to say that, okay, this is the entire data retrieved from the entire data. Get me only the close date. Once that is done, I'm just assigning back to the deadline. That's all it is. Perfect, right? After that, we can just simply, use this data and then, write our JavaScript logic. I'll show you the code. Okay, we just need more minutes. I'll show you the code and also, output as well. Okay. First, let's deploy and then see whether this is actually working or not. So let's go back to this one and opportunities, right? Let's right click inspect. Let's first clear the cache and then reload. Okay. Jump, jump, jump. All right. So nothing is here. All right, it's still loading. Yeah, first let's do a quick inspect. Okay. Let's go to the file. The file name is opportunity close date counter. Two files. Let's anyways put a breakpoint right in this one and then see. Let's refresh the page. On load, the DB call is going to happen, correct? Let's wait for that to hit our breakpoint. Not hit, which means there are two files. Yes, I'll use this file and then put a point. All right, let's wait and see. All right, let's try this. For some reason, my DP, my breakpoints are not hit. Why? Anyways, in the interest of time, what I will do is I'll show you the code, okay? But whatever the core part of the code is what we have already written. Okay, the core part is written. All you have to do is you have to write a JavaScript code, which is fairly simple. Okay, we will also give you the code, okay, a copy of the code so that you can also check on that. So this is the code. HTML part is very, very simple. There is nothing in it. There is a lightning badge component that we are using to show the timer. That's all it is. Okay, this timer is a variable which we are showing. That's it. But back in the JavaScript, whatever which we did, right? Like get record, get value. We imported the reference to the field. Everything is there, right? Other than that, deadline, timer to start. Yeah, this is the one that we did create as well. Correct? Dollar record. This one. And then yes, I think until here we did write the code, correct? So now this is a pure JavaScript code, pure JavaScript code. It gets the date and time, current date and time, and then it just calculates the difference here. And then JavaScript functionality called set interval, which is something called something that like a countdown. The same call gets called again and again. Okay, set interval. It's a JavaScript. Okay, so the entire JavaScript code will run every 1 second. Okay, every 1 second this code will run. That's how you are just seeing a timer, right? That goes. Okay, yeah. So that's the set interval. So in set interval, you can able to write a function. You can just see the arrow function is written, right? Yeah, from here till here, it's an arrow function. Yeah, so you have written an arrow function that runs for every 1 second. Okay, and then it's a countdown counter, right? It's a countdown timer, right? So you can just see the seconds. Okay, so that's how it is. So pure JavaScript magic. That's all it is. But what is important? The key takeaway is it is possible for us to deal with records, or we can able to read a record, or we can able to update a record or delete a record using or without writing apex method. That's the key takeaway. Okay, yeah, that is very important. Okay, once you have that, then the remaining things are just UI gimmicks. Okay, so for that purpose, what did we use? We used UI record API, because there are some pre-built functions from LWC framework that helps you to read record and read field